AI agents are no longer a concept of the future. They are here, they are embedded in our workflows, in our tools, and decision-making processes. But what does this mean for enterprises, and what does it take to adopt and scale AI responsibly and effectively? That's what we're talking about today. Welcome to AI Talk. I'm Stephan. My guest today is Markus Danhel, head of AI software for Switzerland and Austria at IBM Technology. With over 25 years in tech and a mission to deliver secure, open, and enterprise-grade AI, he brings both vision and grounded experience. Welcome, Markus.
Hello, Stephan. Nice to be here.
And with us is also Dalith Steiger-Gablinger. We'll explore with her, of course, how AI agents are changing, how organizations work, and what leaders need to know now. Dalith, welcome back.
Thanks a lot. Welcome, AI enthusiasts.
Markus, why is the word AI agents more than a buzzword now in 2025 from your perspective?
So what is an AI agent? If you look into this, it's basically something which is proactive, right? So it's an agent who acts proactively, acts autonomously, understands what you want, and tries to plan and find a solution by executing certain tasks. So it's really something which is proactive in terms of or compared to a reactive model, what we have seen so far. If you think the traditional chatbot, it's always something you need to trigger, you need to ask, you need to prompt to get a result. An agent gets you to the next level. You give them a task and he completes it as good as he can.
That sounds absolutely useful. Just so we can better understand who you are, tell us a few words about yourself and especially about your role at IBM. What does that role encompass?
Sure. So I'm in the tech arena over 25 years. I'm a techie by heart at the end. I'm a software engineer. At IBM right now, I'm heading the AI business for Switzerland and Austria. What I'm doing every day is to really bring the technology of AI to companies and translate this and bring this into business context. So the AI, what corporations are using, is truly having an impact to their business. So it goes beyond tech.
Markus, so help me understand, what are the key goals? What is the strategic direction that you're pursuing for enterprise AI?
So IBM, we have a long history in the data and AI field. So we know exactly what it does require to implement evolving and new technologies into an enterprise context. So what keeps us busy right now is going basically the next stage of AI. So going beyond from personal productivity kind of use cases into the era where we are embedding AI in core business workflows. So these are the discussions we are currently having a lot. And if I want to boil this down to three elements, how to do this, it's about to balance the performance of your AI, to run AI cost efficiently, so can really scale it up in the enterprise or even beyond. And all of that needs to be trusted. AI does only work if people trust what comes out of your AI capabilities.
How do you build that trust? Is that something that you would say companies underestimate as well?
A key element to trust is you need to give the user always the possibility to understand how an AI engine or an AI decision has been made. So you need to be able to explain very clearly on how did an AI capability come up with a certain decision. That's absolutely key, because the fundamental approach is nowadays that AI is not here to replace humans on its own, but it augments the work humans are doing and making them at the end more efficient. So having this permanent loop of interaction of AI does provide an outcome, and human is able to quickly analyze, reason, and validate that outcome is absolutely key, so you can build up the trust and improve your organization.
Is there a best practice that you have? To me, it sounds like AI is like having a new coworker. And trust needs to build. You need to get to know who they are, how they work, what it is that they need in order for us to work effectively together.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you can look at it as a coworker, as a sort of assistant you have who can help you to achieve certain tasks. So, and part of that is you need to have trust in the AI you are using. This comes from a technology perspective. You need to have the right data foundation. You need to have that explainability, which always links back to the reasoning and the arguments, how a decision came up with. And yes, this is also an organizational transformation aspect to get into this new thinking, rebuilding, rethinking business processes and the interactions between humans and business systems.
And Dalith, from your perspective, this opens entirely new potentials.
Well, I think it's not only new, they are already here. And we really like to see and to discuss now also with Markus, like what's in for those enterprises? How can they really apply these solutions?
Can you give us some examples, some best practices that you have seen so far, either Markus or Dalith?
So I'm happy to start here to build up on the theme of AI, and also agentic AI helps us to rethink and rebuild business processes and these human interactions with business systems. So let me quickly share three kind of examples and what they taught me. So first of all, I think nobody disagrees with that. AI is real. It's not a theoretical concept. It's not, a piece of tech. It's already embedded in our workflows. We are using it on a private or also on a business purpose. So AI is real. So one example is from IBM itself. We have since, I would say 2 years or more, we have built support systems like HR support. So we have a platform which is called Ask HR. And it's an AI agentic system which automates now, I think, up to 94% of the HR inquiries of over 280,000 IBM employees worldwide. So I'm using this regularly. It's fantastic to see how this scales. We have on a global level 10 million user interactions. We have 800,000 automated transactions. And what's in for the company and also for me as a user is it helps me to get things quickly done. It shields me as an end user from all sort of backend system complexities. I can chat with that Ask HR bot in a natural language way. I naturally ask them what I would like to do, and the agent simply executes that task. And it's not anymore a matter of jumping between, I don't know, 3 systems, calling a helpline, waiting for days to get a task done. It's something we can, I can execute stuff in minutes instead of, let's say, hours or days. So that's our own story. But let me go to the second example. I've talked about how AI augments people's work. So last year we had the pleasure and the opportunity to work with Verkehrsbetriebe Zürich, which is public transport organization here in Zurich. And one of their challenges was the high volume of emails they are getting, particularly in peak times, like event season, holiday season. They get a lot of requests by emails. So we implemented with them a proof of concept, which they called it an email butler. So AI was providing an answer recommendation to those service agents how a certain request from a customer should get answered. So this was really not like AI is not answering directly to the end user. It was really like, this little agent, this little, coworker you had who takes the request, who provides a recommendation to the service, to the customer agent. And then the customer agent can say, well, yeah, this sounds right. Human stays in control. And then you get the answer out. So with that, 20% of the emailing queries could be handled much, much, much faster than if you have to look it up manually.
And then, Markus, that increases customer satisfaction, and it also increases employee satisfaction. There's less frustration that you're not able to answer emails faster. So it is a win-win situation on all sides here.
Yes, absolutely. So both, it makes the customer service agents so much more, let's say, efficient and less pressure to get answers out. So it offloads work, particularly around standard requests. And on the other side, I as a customer, I expect an answer in a day, maybe if I ask a more complex question. But I want to see that answer. So yes, absolutely, customer satisfaction is key if we can reduce those loops.
And expectations have changed, especially, you mentioned peak times like Christmas, the holiday season for the Zurich Transport Authority. People want answers faster, and sometimes the 24-hour policy is outdated. You want an answer within 1 hour, 2 hours, ideally, and meeting those expectations has become harder and harder. And this is where agents come in, as you've just explained.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last example I want to give to get on this kind of efficiency and also the expectation how we deal with large volume of data. We have another great customer. It's ABP. Yeah? So it's a legal company, an IP lawyer out of Austria who deals, with globally also in Switzerland. And think about that number. They need to deal with patents, right? So if you register a new patent, you need to check on if there are other patents around and make this kind of analysis. You make the due diligence assessment, the monitoring of that. That's a hugely manual task until now. And there are 170 million patents globally, and they made the number up on this would be 25 times high the Mount Everest of paper, which is around from patents. So what they are doing is they obviously implemented AI and created what is called a patent butler, which is really doing a lot of those heavy lifting manual work to pre-analyze, summarize, validate all this information before basically a human comes in and makes certain decision based on that information. And this keeps me thinking on, this is really transforming their business. This is really transforming how fast you can react, how fast you can boil down to the right level of information required for you.
And then often in patent law, you have trained physicists that actually sit there and look at other patents that are out there, and that's what they need to do. They need to be with their core competency and not doing research, not reading through tons of paper, but actually making the assessment. That is their call, and that's where the human is actually needed.
Absolutely. Again, it's the augmentation, right? How you can do the heavy lifting of let's say research work and then draw conclusion with the human capabilities, with the expertise you as a patent lawyer then bring on the table.
Dalith, just to get to you for a more general and more global assessment of this also. So if the way I understand Markus, it is not about replacing humans, it's about augmentation and about orchestration and about using the core competencies of us humans, be it the physicist in the patent law firm, and making best use of our time.
Absolutely. And I mean, if we look into medicine, doctors, for certain areas, we don't have enough therapists or doctors. So if we can free up their time so they can actually be with the patient, have more time, human related time. So this is exactly the augmentation we are looking at. There are also a lot of use cases where we see that the human being is secured by not doing certain tasks in mining, for example, or on construction side. There are so many great use cases where we see it's an augmentation, it's to free up the necessary time. We have a lack of talents. We don't have enough workforce. So also here, by freeing up time of experts, they can do and focus on what they actually should.
And Markus, if we're talking about large enterprises, we're talking about innovation in large enterprises. If we boil it down, so how do large companies actually stay innovative with AI? What is the right way forward? What is the way of thinking, the mindset that they need to adapt?
Absolutely. It's a challenge. This technology is moving fast, right? So very fast. So you need to find a way how you can, carve out the relevant aspects of that technology and translate it to your business. So 3 things I would recommend, or I would think about how to stay innovative with AI. So first of all, build this kind of ecosystem of your experts, right? And collaborate with those tech providers out there, like IBM, right? So think more about not doing everything on your own, but building on the expertise, bringing in the ecosystem, bringing in the industry experts, right? And let them work together, right? To come up with new ideas, with new solutions, because, tech does not know the industry specifics oftenly. And the other way around, as I've said, AI is so a fast moving field. If you're not like, a deep tech company, it's very hard to get up to date with all those trends. So bringing these expertises together in a collaborative way, let them work together, get, the business processes, give them the challenge to build out something, is one way of doing it. And the third one is get started. Don't wait. AI will not go away. I always say you can be part, right, of that journey, right, and get, ahead of it, anticipate it right on time, or you are just, getting behind, and others will be more competitive than you are as a corporation.
We gotta get moving in order to stay competitive, Dalith. That's what you're supporting as well, right?
Absolutely. And we all know AI is here to stay. You just mentioned, Markus, AI is not running away, but the talents, they will. And I think if companies won't act now and really riding this wave, their talents will just change their jobs. And this is something that a lot of people are not aware of.
As we are in Switzerland, as we're Switzerland-based, Markus, Dalith, and myself, Markus, where do you see Switzerland's role in AI from your perspective? What role does Switzerland play now? What role should Switzerland play? Where do you see further potential?
So Switzerland is a fantastic place, and if we do it smart, I would say, Switzerland can play a fundamental role as an AI hub for the future in Europe and beyond. And why I'm saying this, Switzerland is known since decades for the stability, for a good, economic environment, and for a lot of highly and very good educated people. That's why already in the 1950s, IBM was building the first research lab here in Rüschlikon, close to Zurich, outside of US, and it's still there. A lot of great technology is being worked there as we speak. So that's one testimonial of bringing, high tech competence, high education from ETH, EPFL, and many others, together with also a high density of tech companies. If you look to the Zurich map, there's IBM, there are a lot of other tech companies here. There is a lot of brain power. There's a lot of skills, a lot of innovation we can build on. That's a huge opportunity for us.
It is a huge opportunity, but you said if we play it right. I mean, I see the opportunity, but what needs to happen? What needs to change? Is it a regulatory? Is it the regulatory setting that we need to look at? Is it the entrepreneurial mindset, the leadership mindset? Is it innovators, thought leaders that need to drive this change? Who needs to do what?
Oh, that's a very broad question. But I would say, keeping the spirit or even enhancing the spirit of entrepreneurship, trying things out, right? Don't wait until others are doing it. Also helping, companies to grow, right, and scale up to an international or even global level. I think this is where we can double down, right, where we can become better and putting more focus on it. So to make Switzerland as a country with all the great people, with all the great companies we have here, very successful. And as I've said, we have the ingredients here. We do a lot of things, I think, right, but with a little bit more courage, right, to move ahead, I think we can get even further.
Dalith, let's get moving.
Absolutely. I mean, if we look at Switzerland, the only way how we can increase GDP significantly is by doing export. And Markus just mentioned it. If we want to scale globally, this is exactly where we can do it with technology. Switzerland doesn't have any natural resources like gold or oil. We have a lot of gold, but not underneath the earth. So what we need to do is we have to combine our brain, our talents with technology, and then we will be an AI boutique. We will be leading in the high qualified engineering, what we did in the last hundreds of years.
I love the thought of the AI boutique. That's a beautiful picture, Markus.
A very nice one. Yes, absolutely.
Let's craft that boutique together. I'm saying thank you at this stage, Markus Danhel, for joining us today on this episode of AI Talk.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
And a huge thank you also to Dalith Steiger-Gablinger. Thank you for joining me in this episode.
Thanks a lot again.
And to all of you, thank you for being here. Stay curious. This has been AI Talk. I'm Stephan Lendi. Talk to you soon.
AI Talk is produced by Newberry Media and Swiss Cognitive and supported by Innovation Zurich and Swiss ICT.
Want to discover why Zurich is one of Europe's leading innovation hubs? Visit innovation.Zurich, your gateway to Zurich's vibrant innovation scene. Meet the people and ideas shaping the future and see why the canton of Zurich is a top location for tech, science, and entrepreneurship in Europe.